What's up, guys? You're watching Cam Gaylor, and today I'm doing an overview of the Glock 17 Classic, also known as the Glock Gen 1 reproduction. So as far as I know, this is a Lipseys exclusive, so Lipseys commissioned this by Glock. It's like a special edition sort of thing. I'm not going to get into all the specifics. I just want to kind of give you an idea of what to expect if you pick one of these up. Now, so it comes in a nice little box. Now mine's kind of scuffed up. It's been in the safe for a while. I've had mine since December of 2024, and it's currently April 2025. So my box has a few little dings and stuff just from getting banged around by other things. But you can see it has sort of the Glock breakdown and everything on there. It looks cool. Has a nice little ribbon thing here. I'm going to open it up. All right, once we open it up, it has this nice little picture. It says, the Glock 17 was the first step in Glock's long-standing history of production. The unprecedented success of the Glock P80 in military applications led Gaston Glock to release the Glock P80 to the U.S. commercial and law enforcement customers as the Glock 17 in 1986, and the Glock 17 pistol, now commonly known as the G17 Gen 1, introduced the global market to the advantages of the polymer frame pistol and Glock's safe action system, creating a new standard for pistol performance. The Glock 17 started a polymer revolution that has been the dominant influence on the evolution of semi-auto pistols to this day. And then in here you have the Tupperware style box that they shipped back in the 80s. Here is a, some paperwork on it. It has a certificate of authenticity. So you have that. Glock 17 historical reproduction. Congratulations on your purpose, blah, 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 blah. Limited release pistol from Glock. Very cool. And then it says the first step, Glock 17, Glock perfection. Now, as far as I know, they make two versions of this. They make the American Gen 1, which is what I have, which is, it's marked Gen 1. It's made in Austria, but I mean American as in, it's like what you would get if you were in the 80s in America. And I think they make one that's also just called the P80. And it's basically the same thing. The slide is just marked P80 instead of Glock Gen 1. So you have your classic Tupperware style box. Let's open it up. What do we get inside? You have your Glock. You have an extra magazine, you have a magazine loader, and you have a cleaning brush and a cleaning rod. And let's go ahead and get the gun out. So there's your Tupperware box as an unloading procedure. I guess this is all the stuff that it had back then. And then on the inside of the Tupperware lid, it says 1987 U.S. Award, Glock 17 best in market. I do believe the Tupperware boxes had this sticker, but from what I've read, they would be on the outside of the lid. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what I've read. Let's get the Tupperware out of the way. Let's take a look at my Glock. Now, I don't have a lot of rounds through this. I have maybe 50 rounds through it, if that. And I'm not going to really shoot it a lot. I like Glocks. I really do. And the early Glocks without the finger grooves and stuff, that was my favorite ones. So I just thought this was a cool thing. So the grip is going to be just like the old Gen 1s, the way it's made, where it's textured sort of all the way around but still smooth everywhere. It says made in Austria, Glock Inc., Smyrna, Georgia. It's all Glock. No front slide serrations and no rail in the front. It is, for all intents and purposes, a Glock Gen 1. Now, it's not going to be exact copy. There are some modern things that they really just couldn't shut down production to change it to. You have your classic Glock sight. Now, I will say, I've always loved the Glock sight picture. I wish Glock would just go to metal rear sights and leave that. I love that sight picture that Glocks have. I know a lot of people change out their Glock sights, but I do like the way they look. And then coming around here, we have Glock 17 Austria 9x19. And I feel like it says Gen 1 somewhere on it. Let me go back around. Yeah, so on the serial number, it'll say whatever your serial number, and it says Gen 1. So, and it's the same thing on your barrel. Of course, you have your Glock blade trigger, and it is a single pin frame. So I think in later editions, was it 2 or 3 pins on the frame? Well, the originals, I reckon, were single pin, as far as I know. So they've gone back to that. And then you don't have the bulky magazine like the new Glocks. You're going to have your old style magazine. From what I understand, some of the internals and things, it's more closely related to a Glock Gen 2 or Glock Gen 3. And then they made the aesthetics look more like a Gen 1. So from looks, it looks just like a Gen 1. Most people would not be able to tell the difference, but I think from modern production standards, it's going to be closer to a Gen 2 or 3. Like it doesn't have the old Tennifer finish. They're not going to completely change the way they build a Glock and everything to build this. They wanted to make a accurate looking clone, basically. So it's not a one-to-one reproduction, but it's pretty close. Yeah, so I mean, I haven't shot mine enough to even wear out a little smile. They call it the Glock smile on the top of the chamber here. Mine looks brand new. And I'm probably not going to shoot it that much. I think it's really cool. It was a Christmas gift to me from my family. They bought this for me, and I really love it. It's really cool. It's the only Glock I own at the moment. You've seen some other Glocks on the channel, the Glock 19, the Glock 17 Gen 2, a few other Glocks. I've sold those. Things come and go. I'm not the biggest Glock guy in the world. I really love M&Ps by Smith & Wesson. I like the Springfield XDs and the Echelons and different guns, the CZP-10. So there's some other guns I like more than the Glock, but I am fond of Glock. So anyways, this is what you're going to get in your Glock 17 Classic kit. I got mine from Bud's, but I guess they get theirs from Lipseys. It's very cool. I'm going to hang on to this forever. I never plan on selling this. And I may get some Glocks in the future. I mean, I'm not opposed to Glock. They're just not my #1 brand, put it that way. There are 3 or 4 down on the list. There's other things I like a little bit more. But these special edition things are really cool. And I like that I got the Glock 17 Gen 1 version. Because here in America, if you did live in the 80s or whatever, you're going to probably get... I think it would have been marked Glock 17 and not P80. So anyways, that's everything. That's sort of what you're going to get if you get one of these. Also, I'm working on some other videos today. So Kel-Tec PMR 30, Smith & Wesson Model 15-3, Smith & Wesson Sigma SW380. Anyways, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.